and we are going to do a real estate Q&A. So I'm here looking at the camera, and I seem to be a little out of focus. No problem. I think I might be able to focus this. I had to move my camera around. I have a whiteboard as part of my business, and I moved the camera to share the whiteboard with my team and my sales team. We have a scoreboard, and we track our leads, our highest priority leads on a whiteboard, and I share it. Excuse me. And when I move the camera back, it put me out of focus. So let me see. So here's a cool part. Here's a behind the scenes you're gonna see. So my camera, I love it. It's like a Magic. It's called a Black Magic Pro or something. Super cool camera. Shout out to Jacob for putting me on game for this camera. But you've got to like focus the thing. It doesn't autofocus. So I literally have a hard time because what if I'm sitting here? How do I focus when I'm at my camera? So I figured out this hack, and you're gonna see. This is fun. I do this every time. So I bring my chair, right? I'll put this hat right here, and I'm focusing that, and that should work. It usually works when I do it. So I think that'll work. I think that's good, and that should make my face focus a little bit better. Let's see if I'm focused. Nice. I think that's a little bit better on the focus. I don't have a camera guy. I am my own camera guy. So, sometimes we have to make do with what we have. Holy cow, Nicole Tedder's in here. Well, thank you, Nicole. I appreciate you. And we have somebody. What's up, my man Munif? I can't read your name. I think that's Hebrew, though. So it might be one of my friends from Israel. Hopefully, it's one of my friends from Israel. I love my friends from Israel. I love you guys so much. My business partner, Eyal, is from Israel. And I have a ton of friends, Sagi, Gali from Israel. They're awesome. So today we are doing a real estate Q&A, and I'm going to be here to answer all of your real estate questions. He says, yeah, man, I'm on my private account. Still don't know who you are, but I know you're one of my friends, and I love you very much. DQ DQuez1114 says, finally figured out Twitch. Thank you for figuring out Twitch. That's amazing. Guys, I'm going to be answering your questions. If you're watching this on Facebook, I actually am not seeing your comments. I'm so sorry. I'm not seeing your comments on Facebook because Facebook does not show me anything you write on my overlay. So if you want to ask me questions, you have to go to www.twitch.tv/the_takeaway. I'm going to put this link up here. Or if you're on YouTube, that's fine too. I can see YouTube comments. You can find my YouTube channel. But this is the easier way to do it. Twitch, log in Twitch, subscribe, the whole bit. Twitch TV.takeaway. Aloha Munif, sub to Hawaii right here. My name is Ikaika. I'm so sorry. I'm not the best with Hawaiian names. So if you could teach me how to pronounce your name properly, I will learn it. Aloha. That's dope. I can't wait to visit you guys in Hawaii. My wife and I want to go to Hawaii next year. So, Ikaika Diaz. Ikaika. There you go. Ikaika. You actually spell it out. Ikaika. Right? So it's Ikaika. Awesome. Phil is saying Twitch is cool. I was on YouTube yesterday. Thank you so much. Thank you. Cool. So guys, I did this for you. The reason I did this is because I get a ton of messages in my inbox, and they're always like here, I'm going to read some. I'm going to read you guys some messages from my inbox. I get these every single day. So here's just 5 random ones I just chosen no particular order. Hey Munif, I know you're a super busy guy. I was wondering if I could have a quick phone call with you regarding raising private money for acquiring sub 2 deals. Would you be available sometime this week? Hey Munif, I'm trying to help this elderly lady sell her house. Can you help me? Hey Munif, I'm in Pace's sub 2 group with you. You gave me some inspiration. I'm looking to become a Gator lender. I signed up for the challenge and have a call with PCS Monday. I'd like to get some insight from you and possibly JV on some deals here in Indianapolis in the future. Let's connect. No problem. Got to give you where credit is due. I assume you're super busy, so instead of bothering you with rap questions I couldn't find answers to in the Zooms, do you know any attorneys or title companies or sub 2 students that will be able to help me with my raps? Yeah, for sure, because we actually have a rap Zoom on Mondays that we do for you guys. And what I love the questions. I love you guys reaching out. It makes me feel really happy. I feel so blessed that you guys are coming to me for your questions. And I really wish I had time to, because they're not easy questions. They're not like for example, the person who has an elderly lady and they want to help sell their house. Can I help them? I don't know what market it's in. I don't know anything about the house. I don't know anything about the seller situation. I don't even know what they need help in. Is it deal underwriting? Is it talking to the seller? So there's a lot of back and forth before I'm even able to help somebody. And that's just one example. Sometimes it's like, hey, I've got a question on raising private money. It's like, cool, but that's a pretty big topic. That I could spend 5 minutes talking about private money. I could spend 5 hours about talking about private money. So it's like really hard to respond to those or even like craft a response that's like appropriate for the question. I really appreciate the questions when you guys reach out to me in my DMs. I love them a lot. Thank you for that. But it's really hard for me to sit there and like craft a suitable question to a lot of those. And I get a ton every single day. And it's really hard for me to get on the phone or on a Zoom call and because I like even me, like if I'm like, okay, let me just talk to somebody for 5 minutes, I get sucked in to a from a 5 minute call, it ends up becoming a 2 hour call because I love what I do. I love this business. I'm so passionate about everything we do here. It's hard for me to just like give a 5 minute answer and then like not elaborate on that when we're into something. And then what happens is 5 minutes turns into 45 minutes. And now I just told somebody on my own team that I was going to help them with the deal for our company. And I'm not helping them. And they're waiting for me on a Zoom. And they're like, where the hell is Munif? And I'm like, oh shit, sorry, I got sidetracked. So it's really hard for me to do that. So I figured, hey, why not just come here and I can just time block and just like answer questions for anybody who has questions for me. And just like if I go over, that's fine because I didn't plan anything in my day around this. And I'm also like supporting the people who are supporting me by tuning into my lives. Like I'd rather just answer your questions because you're tuning in and you're live with me and like that's supporting me. So I'd rather just support you and answer what questions you have. Um, Phil says, this is why Pace says he refuses one-on-one. That's exactly right. Pace says the same thing. He doesn't like doing one-on-ones. Guys, if you're watching on Facebook, I cannot see your comments. So Facebook, if you're commenting, if you're writing stuff, I cannot see your comments. So, guys, if you're in Facebook and you see people commenting questions to me, let them know. I can't see them. Munif cannot see your comments on Facebook. I can only see your comments on YouTube and Twitch. Adrian says, just got here from Facebook. What type of buyer are we looking for as wholesalers in this changing market? Flipping is dying, BRR is dead. Who is buying and what do they want? Great question. So there's an old saying in real estate. And the saying is, there's no bad real estate. There's only bad prices. For example, Adrian, say I'm a fix and flipper and I'm your buyer, you're a wholesaler, and I buy properties and I buy in a price range and I resell to my target demographic. And I like to sell houses after I fix them up anywhere between $300,000 to $400,000. And I've got money, but I'm like, I took a little bit of a hit in this market, maybe a big hit, but I've got money. But I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna wait this out because stuff I was selling at 400,000 or expecting to sell at 400,000, I'm selling at 300,000 now, or 280, or 290, or 275. I'm having to take massive price cuts. Let's just say in this hypothetical case, and you bring me a deal, and I was buying deals at 100, 110, or let's say I was buying deals at 150 and selling them at 300. I put in 50 to 80K in rehab. And you bring me a deal at $10,000. This is an extreme example, but you bring me a deal and I get to buy this house for 10,000. Am I buying that house? In the comments, right? Yes or no. Nothing wrong with the house. I mean, it needs rehab. It needs like a full gut or whatever, but it's not burned down. It's not just a piece of land. I could put 50, 60 into it. And the deal for me is $10,000. Would I take that deal? Would I buy that house today? If you're watching, I want to get a yes or no in the comments. I'm even asking you. Okay, Morgan says yes. Of course I'd buy that house. Buy for 10, put 50, 60 into it, right? I'm in at 80, 90. Previous market, I could sell for 400, 350. I could sell it, if I sell it for 200, I might get an offer at 230, 240. I'm making a ton of money. So, of course, everyone's like all day long. Yeah. All day long. So, there's no bad real estate. There's only bad prices. A couple, let's think of it in terms of our end buyer, our end customer. Down the supply chain, a newlywed couple, they're expecting a baby. They want to buy a house for their first home together. They're double earners. And they want their house. It's time to buy their house. The bank approved them maybe 6 months ago because based off their income for a $400,000 house. And that's the price range they were budgeting for. Their bank says 400,000. They go, okay, cool. I can afford the 400,000. Cool. Now they tell the realtor is bringing them properties, and for some reason or another, they don't buy. They get a pre-approval now, and the bank says 280. Same couple, same income, but because of the interest rate, they look at the monthly payments they can afford, and they say 280. Let's just say. They go, crap. I guess we can't buy. Then they see a house that maybe 6 months ago would have sold for 350, 380. It's selling right now for 280. They can afford it. And it's exactly what they're looking for. Would they buy it? I'm asking you in the chat. Would they buy that house? Absolutely. Of course they would. Because it's not a business for them. It serves a need. And they're anchored at, oh, shit, we have to buy the houses that were selling at 250, 260, 280, 290 6 months ago. No. They don't have to settle if the prices are adjusted for what they can afford. Of course, it depends on the monthly payment. Exactly. So, Adrian, what type of buyers are we looking for as wholesalers in this changing market? The same buyers. There's people who are doing flips. Look, they've got crews to feed. Crews need work. So if they can find a house, the same house, but 30% less, they're going to buy it. 40% less, they're going to buy. BRR is not dead. It's those margins are dead. Those price points are dead, but the concepts and strategies are not. The people taking the hits right now are not the wholesalers or the fix and flippers necessarily when we're buying. It's the sellers. People who have to sell cannot get the prices they thought they were getting. They cannot get prices from a year ago or 6 months ago. They're taking 30% hits. People who sold 6 months ago, a year ago, they gained. They got so much equity. And the people who didn't sell then are losing those gains. A lot of it was artificial equity created by inflation because we printed a lot of money and low interest rates so people could afford very expensive houses on very small payments. Now the Fed is juicing up the interest rates, so the housing market cools off. But people are making the same amount of money they were making 6 months ago. So if they can afford that house, they'll pay for it. If the buyer knows he can sell it at that price, he'll buy your house as long as your buyer makes their margin. Because they love to buy your house if they can get it deep enough. So it offsets the risk. They know, hey, worst case scenario, 3 months after this flip is done, even if the market tanks even further, I still make money. I'm buying this house. I'd be stupid to refuse this deal. They'll buy it. That's the mindset we're using in our wholesaling business. Super Saiyan Apollo, do you have Instagram where we can contact you? Yeah, my Instagram is Munif. That's my Instagram handle. Yeah, give me a follow on Instagram. Agent says, so I just have to find better deals. How do we do that going from average to great deals? Well, they're not great deals, actually. They would have been a great deal 6 months ago. Now they're just a deal. What would have been a great deal 6 months ago is just maybe not even a deal now. So something that would have been a great contract for 250 6 months ago is a contract at 190 or 200. So it's not about finding better deals. It's finding deals. Just the price points have changed. Cool. Ikaika. That's right. Have you ever pitched a sub two to a homeowners association that has possession of a property and the property is being foreclosed by the lender? No, that's a crazy one. But I would just, if I had to, I would just treat it like a seller and say, look, you're not going to make any money. So how about I catch up the rears? How would you? I mean, it depends on the rears because I need to know more about the deal. Because if the rears are high, you need a loan mod. And I don't know if a lender would approve a loan mod by an HOA. But the way I would probably approach it is treat the HOA like a person. Like whoever makes the decisions or the managing group that makes the decisions, get them on a conversation and see how you can work out a deal. But I've never done something like this. Morgan says, hey, have you ever had to file a performance deed for buyer non-payment on a sub two? If so, what's the process? That's a really good question. I've not had to do that. Because are you asking if I assign the deal to somebody and if they don't pay? No, because I'm out of the deal. That buyer is now between the buyer and the seller. So I assigned it. That deal between me and the seller, I've assigned my rights to another buyer for an assignment fee. So if they don't perform, that's between that buyer and the seller. Now, if I sold the deal to a buyer on a wrap where I'm still involved in the deal and I either sold it on a wrap or a land contract, I would either have to foreclose or evict the buyer, depending on the type of deal I structured. Sergey says, how many hours a day should I be calling to get 2 deals a month consistently? It depends, because are you cold calling, or are you doing follow-ups, right? So cold calling is a lot of the time is prospecting. Prospecting is just finding people who are interested, finding leads. And then after prospecting is like deep prospecting, which is qualifying and disqualifying leads and giving them certain temperatures, and then focusing on the higher priority leads. And then it's nurturing and converting. And then when you actually get the close, when you're closing the deal, that's the full sales cycle. So to do this consistently, you need a strong pipeline. And I can't answer that unless I know if you've actually, like, what your lead generation system is. Morgan says, I'm asking who is holding the deed. How does one get it if it was signed at closing? So if Morgan, I'm a little confused. If you are direct to seller and you're going to keep the deal and it's a sub 2 deal, you have the deed. As the buyer, you have the deed and you're buying the house subject to the existing financing. Now, if you're using a performance deed in conjunction with a deed in lieu of foreclosure, there's language in that where if you don't make that payment and you're delinquent on that payment, the seller can then take those documents to the county recorder's office and get the deed back in their name. That's if you are the buyer and you're direct to the seller. If you're a middleman and you assign the deal, everything is the same except for you, Morgan, Winters, failing to perform. It's the buyer failing to perform, and the seller does exactly what they would have done if it was you. You got cashed out and you're done. You're no longer affiliated in the transaction. I hope that makes sense. Merrick W says, if I'm working full-time with $20,000 liquid, what's your personal opinion on how to start something scalable? Many people are telling me cold calling with VAs doesn't work well anymore. That's not true, because that's exactly what we do and it's working really good for us. There's just strategies you have to change. You have to tweak stuff. So I don't know who. I mean, it depends on who you're getting who's answering those questions. I mean, um, you know, it's very involved, and we have to really spend a lot of time on the lists and the rotating numbers and training our cold callers. But we're really good at that, so it's working for us. Like, we're our cold callers are very, very competitive. We have the best in the business. But if you're working full time with $20,000, I wouldn't hire cold callers, because who's going to actually follow up with those leads, because you're working full time. So that's really difficult, especially if you don't have sales experience, if you don't have real estate experience. It's possible. You can do it, but it would take up all of your time. Like, your life would look like you work, and then every hour you're not working or sleeping or eating or spending time on human functions like bathing and showering and using the bathroom. Every time between working and existing, all that free time goes into this business. That means you are not hanging out with friends. You're not dating anyone. You're not going to family gatherings. Like, you're literally just all effing into this business for sure. Like, totally doable. But if that's not you, if you cannot commit to that, also, you have to do that for a long amount of time, like consistently for a long time. And if that's not you, then I recommend if I had 20,000, I would save more money. If I'm committed to working full time, I'd save more money. I'd probably save about like another 50,000 And then I probably would, if I'm working full time, I'd probably partner with somebody. I'd probably partner with somebody who's super active, who has a shit ton of time, and like a shit ton of time, really knows what they're doing. Partner with them 50-50 on a deal and invest that 50 grand on a deal. And you have higher upside. That's probably what I would do. What I did is I was a person who made the sacrifice when I was working 9 to 5 full time. What I did is I stopped seeing my friends. Um, I was actually in a relationship and we broke up because I was working so much on this business and it was taking all of my time, everything. And she and I didn't have the same core values. I wanted to be a millionaire, and now I want to be a billionaire. But at the time, I wanted something. I didn't want the 9 to 5, and all my free time was spent on that. And she believed in quality time, um, and spending hours a day, every single day, with your significant other is super important. Like hours and hours and hours a day, and weekends are like off limits to work. Like you can't work on weekends. So we had a clash in core values, and um, that caused us to break up. And I chose the business. I chose my dreams. I chose my career over that relationship. And God bless her. Hope everything's well with her. But I ended up finding the love of my life. I ended up finding somebody who has the exact same vision and core values as me, same lifestyle, same mission, same purpose. And it's the opposite. She's encouraging me to work. She's here right now, happy I'm working. And the harder I work, she feels that I'm loving her more. Like she feels that love. So it it worked out. I know I've got on a tangent, but everything worked out for the best. And I don't know, like I can't really answer that, like what to do. It really depends on what kind of person you are and what you're willing to sacrifice. I was willing to sacrifice everything, and I did. I sacrificed everything: my relationships, at one point, my health, and multiple parts of my sanity. And I took nothing except my time and my commitment, my consistency, and pushed for years without seeing results. And that worked for me. And I would do it again. But I don't know if that's healthy or that's good advice for anybody. And if you want to have some semblance of a work-life balance and you have some money to start, I would partner with somebody who this is what they do. They're a hustler, they're a grinder. Maybe they have some kind, maybe they're living with relatives or family or something, and they can devote all their time and money and energy into real estate. Somebody who's done a couple deals and partner with them on a deal after maybe I get like 40 more $1,000. I know that was a long answer, but I hope you got value from that answer. Awesome. Let's see. Adrian says, I think Morgan is asking if I buy a house up to and never ever miss a payment, but the seller decides to try and get the house back by taking the documents. No, that doesn't work because um, it's you've got a deed in lieu and a performance deed, and so you're tracking your payments via a loan servicer, third party loan servicer. So there's no failure on performance. So there's no way to get the deed back. It's easily contested. They can't really do that. And you actually, if you use the paperwork that Pace provides, you actually can go after the seller for $50,000 in damages because they actually sign something that they won't try any of this funny business with the sub two transaction. Do hard money lenders charge interest only or interest and principal and monthly payments? Can loans be more than 5 years? In my experience, hard money lenders give you 6 to 12 month loan terms with interest only payments. And can loans be more than 5 to 10 years? Commercial loans can be. Lead management plus acquisition. I mean, for Sergio's, how many hours a day? So if you're lead managing, I mean, if you do, I would say as much as you can. like I would do all day. But if you're having if you're having 20 conversations a day, you're that's a good start. How many conversations a day can I have to get one or two deals a month? It depends on your ability to convert and persuade, and you have having good systems and processes, and having like a good sales pipeline. But let's imagine if you're doing your follow-ups, you're doing your comps accurately, you're you have truly qualified leads. If you're having 10 conversations a day with with different sellers who are motivated on some level, in a 5-day period you're having 50 conversations, 50 sellers. In a 4-week period, that's 200 leads you're going through. So out of those 200, there's on average about 4 contracts in there. Even if 2 of those don't close, half of them close escrow, you're getting 2 deals a month. So that's 10 fresh conversations with motivated sellers a day. So that's a full day's work, because when you have leads and you're going through and you're calling them, a lot of them don't pick up, or a lot of them are tire kickers. So having 10 is what I've seen. Having 10 conversations a day can be like 6 hours of real work, like real work. Like you're on the phone, like calling people. It could be less, it could be more, but that's just expect 5 to 6 hours a day. Maybe some days it could be 8 hours because no one's picking up, and you have to get your 10 conversations in. You have to dial more people. Some days it could be 3 hours because everyone picked up their calls. So those are just some general numbers. Morgan says, what keeps someone from filing this important document with ill intent, essentially taking the house back when the payments have actually been made? That's why you have a loan servicer, and part of the performance deed has language in there that they have to prove that you miss payments. Now, if they forge that, that's an easy lawsuit. So you you have title to the property, you have equitable interest. So that's a really easy lawsuit. And if the deed transfers, your loan servicer should pick that up. So that's never happened. I've never heard of that happening. But that's a really easy lawsuit, and it'll be hard for them to resell the house because, you know, depending on the property, you should have a lien on it. We have liens on all our properties, so no one can resell the house, even if they got the deed, because we have a lien on it. And that's an easy lawsuit. And if you do the paperwork properly, if you use Pace's paperwork, that won't happen because the language in the paperwork prevents that from happening. Because these title companies, they don't. The language prevents the deed from going back to their name, because they need substantial evidence. And if they forge that evidence, you have a really easy case on your hands. But I guess it could happen. I guess you could do forgery, but that's criminal. And so I don't know what to say to that. That's that's almost similar to asking if somebody buys the house from you by forging your signature or something like that. So maybe it could happen, I guess, but I think the risk is low, and the lawsuit, the pending lawsuit, is highly in your favor. But I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer at all. So that might be something to ask an attorney. I've never been asked that question or have thought about it. And I'm probably not going to think about it because that's a super hypothetical, and that's never happened to me or anyone else I've met who's been doing this business for a long time. Yeah. So Adrian, we use third-party loan servicers, so everything's tracked. Every payment, there's multiple people getting emails and notifications every time a payment's being made. It's really hard to bypass this stuff and lie about this kind of stuff. After graduating high school, is it better to start my own real estate business or work at a real estate firm to get my feet wet first? Depends on what kind of person you are. Because it's like, is it better? That's a really hard question for me to answer because I don't know anything about you, Super Saiyan Apollo, except that you're into Dragon Ball Z and that's dope and you're dope. Um, is it better? Depends. Like, is it better to have a 9 to 5 or start your own business? It depends. What do you want out of life? Because if you want like more family time and security and like being able to turn off, like literally turn off your work phone after 5 p.m. every single day and not have to worry about emails after 5 p.m. every single day, then having a 9 to 5 is better. Like putting somebody through entrepreneurship who that's not what they want is actually hell. And I would never recommend that. So um, I don't know what the answer is. I can't, I don't know you well enough to answer that. But if you don't have business experience or you're you want a fast track to get the experience, I would work or apprentice under somebody who owns a business. 100%. If I loved college, but if I chose not to go to college and get straight into real estate, I would 100,000% apprentice under somebody who's doing what I'm doing now. Like if I could go back in the past and shadow my current self, that'd be fucking dope. Your ex sounds a lot like mine. No, she was awesome. She was dope. It's just different values. So when you have different core values, things are different. It's like marrying somebody who doesn't want kids and you want kids. It's not going to end in good things if those are your real core values. So like you got to have the core value discussion when you're dating. And we were dating and we just had different core values. She's really awesome. I wish her the best. Jay San says, I think that's Jasper. What's up, Jasper? Jay San says, I'm working on Daniel Keano's team to become a better closer, working his leads. Before I hire a VA to outsource my cold calling, where's the line between being a smart decision and just a mind block? I don't understand your question. I might bring you up on this Zoom, by the way. Um, Actually, I'm going to bring Jasper on here. Here, I'm going to bring you up on here, Jasper. Here, I'm going to put the link in the chat. So click that link, Jasper. Up on here. Adrian says, sorry, list of questions to ask on first call. Not a script, just bullet points. What do you mean? Oh, list of questions to ask on the first call. Oh, great question. Okay, like first call with somebody, you should want to know it's the 4 pillars from Brent Daniels. So it's like motivation, timeline, pain, and asking price are really good to know. How do you wrap us up to if a wrap buyer picks their insurance and can randomly cancel it? From my understanding, you don't cancel the existing insurance policy. You add yourself as an additional insured, and then the wrap buyer can add their own insurance, or some people will add the wrap buyer as an additional insured, but they don't give them the ability to cancel insurance. Or they can just go get their own. You can have 2 insurance policies on one house, but that's never been an issue. Like I haven't dealt with that issue yet. What are some key points in agent outreach we have to be specific about, especially on market and bringing up terms for those in need? What are some terms we must be upfront about? I actually don't do agent outreach for terms deals. That's not something I specialize in. But I think the main important thing to be upfront about is that the loan stays in the seller's name. That's like if you're asking from a hey, what should we like what should they be aware of like upfront is that the loan stays in the seller's name. And yeah, we do SMS with agents. Back when we were doing agent outreach for cash deals, we were doing SMS. Does agent commission get paid out of pocket for terms? Yes, I made this mistake and um, paid an agent less on my offer, and the agent they convinced the seller to take a worse offer than mine. Like it underwrote worse. Long story, but it was a riskier offer for the seller, but they were getting a bigger commission check, so that the agent convinced the seller to take that. And I just didn't want to pay the agent the full because you know it didn't make sense. But maybe my mistake was I should have worked with the agent to figure out a fair commission that they liked. I didn't do that. I just told the seller, hey, I'll pay your agent this much money just for drafting paperwork. It was like $5,000 or something, which was more than I probably should have. But I never involved the agent in that, and the agent went with somebody who was going to pay them like $8,000 or $10,000, and the deal was riskier for the seller for many reasons. And so agents don't necessarily put their seller's interest above their own commission. Yo, what's up, Jasper?
Oh, hey Munif, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah. How are you? I'm just
Oh,
reading comments on the side. I've got 2 messages pinned. Let me unpin those. Dude, so nice to see you here. Thanks for joining us.
of course. I love the fact that you're doing the takeaway.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Dude,
I was so sad. What was
did
that?
you're the reason I started it because you were on the Daily Dialogue. You're like, I would love to watch you make calls, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll start. So it's now you're on the takeaway. So it comes full circle.
Love it.
So Jasper, you are awesome. I see you showing up to every Daily Dial at 5 in the morning Pacific every single morning. You're on my Thursday morning Daily Dials where I teach you and other Sub 2 students how to talk to sellers for free for 2 hours every Thursday morning at 5 a.m. Arizona time. And, that's where we connected. And I saw you in the chat. You had a question. So tell us about your question.
Yeah, so currently I'm working on DQ's team. I'm getting a lot more comfortable on the phone. I feel myself improving, but to me, I'm still having a trouble because I still do some of the cold calling myself. I like work on DQ's leads. I'm currently lead managing for a friend who's on vacation, and then after I'm done with that, I do some of my cold calling myself to generate leads.
Okay.
Um, so then I was just thinking in my head, right? If I become a better closer, when I hire a VA, I'll have better conversion, and so it'll be worth better my time if I just improve my skills working on different teams, working on different leads, and then hiring a VA to outsource the cold calling then.
How much money do you have to spend on this?
Um, to spend on VAs, maybe 4 to 5K.
How would you feel if that money just went to the trash?
Terrible.
Yeah, then don't do it. Don't hire a VA right now.
Yeah. Okay.
I did what you're doing. I worked on different teams and basically a partner. Like I JV with a shit ton of people, and then I spent. I was like, let me get also my VAs, and I had no idea what I was doing, and I didn't lose 4 to 5K. I lost 18 grand. I learned a lot for 18 grand. And this was um, like, like fall of last year. Cause I knew how to close deals. Like I actually just won the Closers Olympics, or not won, like placed top 3. Um, and like for me that was a huge win because no one knew who the fuck I was, and like I win second place on this thing and this like huge platform, and I felt, I dare say I was happier than RJ who won first. 'Cause I thought I won when I made the role play competition. I was like, I'm in the competition. And then they're like, well, the first round is just to like eliminate the noobs to actually be in the competition. And then I made it that. I'm like, I won that. Like I won. People know my name. People are saying my name. And then I made it to the finals and I got second. I was like, I still like, I'm still high from that. And even back then, I like had VAs. I had like 2 or 3 VAs. I was fluctuating between 2 and 3, and I wasn't converting. because I had hired the wrong VA company. I had no idea how to use CRMs, like terrible CRM management. I had no idea how to do follow ups. Like my system was broken. I knew how to convert, but I didn't know how to do the system. Even the lists I was pulling and the skip tracing I was pulling from list source and overpaying for lists. I was paying $2,000 a list. Can you believe that? It was unfucking real. I wasn't using like services like Batch, who if you have a subscription, you get like lists for free, or PropStream or whatever. And I was paying like 15 cents a record. Like I was dumping money because I didn't know what I was doing. And I was like, well, I should get leads. And I got leads, but I wasn't doing follow ups because I was following up on other people's leads and I was outsourcing and delegating. I was figuring a lot of this stuff out. And I spent $18,000, didn't make a single penny for my VAs. So, how much money do you want to lose before you learn this? That's the question.
I don't want to lose any money. That's
Wait,
why I've
and
been.
they'll hire VAs right now, and like that's just because like it's an investment, and you're gonna learn and lose. And I had to lose a lot of money to learn that I need a partner who really does this stuff and has been doing this stuff for a long time. And then I put money into that business.
I got you. But yeah,
Exactly.
that's exactly what I wanted to hear because I know you mentioned one time and this was out of context. That's why I wanted to ask. You said no one should be cold calling, but I was like in my head I was like,
Yeah,
then
you're doing exactly right. You're working with your JVing and working with people who have cold callers.
One last question though. Sorry to take up so much time. So I'm actually canceling on one of my contracts, and within the contract it says that I can release my EMD without like a mutual release agreement from the seller
Cool.
and me.
Good. That's a good
But
time.
that it's basis one, but the title company is giving me some pushback saying
What are they saying?
like they saying, "Good afternoon. I checked your contract with my manager, and they confirmed it's our policy to have a signed release by both parties to release the earnest money." And I was like,
Yeah. So wait a minute. Look, got it. And you're right and they're wrong. Let's agree to that. But they have your money. Okay. So will the seller sign a release?
"Yeah, yes, he will."
Just get the release. Just get them to sign it and do it. Okay.
Okay,
You're right. You don't need the permission. You don't need their permission legally. Like legally, everybody agreed, and they're wrong. And you should still go get the seller signature. Okay.
okay,
That's the
okay,
answer to the question. All right.
okay.
Cool.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. Yo, Danny Cho, what's up, man? How are you?
What's up? I'm good. I'm good. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. It's so nice to see you. I see you every Thursday morning on the Daily Dial in our 2 hour group role plays, and just nice to see you here on the stream. Thank you for hopping on and supporting.
Yeah, thank you for doing this, man. Always good to see you in action and answering questions and helping people.
Oh well, of course. What can I do for you?
I was just listening in to what you guys were talking about. I didn't really have a question or anything like that, but I guess a question for me to you would be, what was that partnership relationship like when you squatted up with that right person?
How many partnerships, JVs, squad ups do you think I did before I found my current partners?
Over 20, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, you're really close. 25.
Wow.
So how many have you done?
I've done a few.
Like what's a few? How
Um,
many JVs or squad ups or partnerships? How many people have you dated before you? Two?
yeah, two.
Okay, cool. So before you find your partner that you're gonna really scale with, expect to interview or JV with at least 2 dozen people. 2 dozen people or teams or groups.
So
Because
did you look for an interview? Oh, go ahead.
I'll answer your question because the reason is because you learn just as much as about yourself as you learn about other people. So you have to go through it. It's not like, oh, let me find the perfect partner. It's like, let me find myself while I work with different people, because I learn what I tolerate and what I don't. And somebody who I worked well with 6 months ago is not somebody I would tolerate today. And somebody I'm partnering with today, I would not have been a good fit for 6 months ago.
Right. So the growth period
Yeah.
does account for a lot. Because I think that's the thing too. Like, I feel like maybe I gotta partner up with somebody at a higher level to grow and bring more value to people. So I think that's where I'm kind of hitting a moment right now. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, Danny. Appreciate it. All right, let's see. I'm gonna get some water. I'll be right back. Get some water. I thought I brought a water bottle in, but I didn't. Let me get a water bottle. Awesome. Oh, we answered this question for Joel. M&N Ventures. If I have some with hard money wanting to invest into real estate / transactional funding, what is fair to earn percentage wise if I'm providing the deals to put his money into? Like a point or 2 points. Whatever you want, that's your fee. You can like, what's fair is hard to quantify, because you know you can just get whatever you negotiate. Like whatever he thinks is fair, he or she. I want to own my own real estate firm, but I want to know what I'm doing first. Super Saiyan Apollo, then I think you answer your own question. If you want to know what you're doing first, you should work for somebody else before you have your own firm. Danny says, for a sub 2 loan, can you change the insurance, or do we need to keep it in the seller's name for the whole time the loan is in place? I think you can, but it's like touchy. So a lot of people keep the insurance in the seller's name the whole time. For hot leads that say they want to sell as soon as possible, but postpone appointment and ghost you, should you still call and text daily to potentially annoy them, or have someone else from the team call them to do with hot leads that ghost? If they're a hot lead, the reason they're ghosting you is because they're probably entertaining another offer. So I'd probably not ask them every day, but I would have a cadence of like once or twice a week. And you can. I always do that. We have somebody else on our team. Our team has the ability to change their phone number and call from a different number. So they'll call as a different person or a different number. And the seller, if they pick up, we know that they may have been ghosting or blocked that number. Or we'll have somebody else call as an entirely different person, as an entirely different company, because these sellers don't remember the companies you're with. They remember who you are. West Michigan investor says, it was pretty amazing to watch. I think you were talking about the Closers Olympics. Thank you so much for your support. It means a lot to me. What apps are your team using right now? We're using REI Black Book. We're using Call Tools. We're using Batch. But full transparency, we're looking at other services outside of Batch right now. We've been using Batch for a while, but they changed their thing and it's not really serving our needs. So we're exploring like other options. We're using Privy, Propelio. We just got we're just trying out Propelio, and we're using Slack and WhatsApp. West Michigan investor says, Jasper, give me 6 months and I'll hire the VAs for you. We can team up. Yo, Jasper, team up with West Michigan Investor. Can I partner with you? Sure, yeah. We are looking for partners on our multifamily Airbnb deals. So, like for example, we're doing a Reg CF crowdfund. So, if you want to be a partner in the crowdfund, you can certainly do that. If you're non-accredited, we will have a crowdfund, so you can be a partner in that, which is really cool. Anybody in it, everyone can be a partner with me, my partner Noah, Tracy, and even Pace. Pace Morby is our partner in our crowdfund. So that's really cool. You can be a partner with us. If you're an accredited investor, you can be a partner with us right now. We are partnering with accredited investors right now. So, but if you're not accredited, you'll have to wait for our crowdfund to be built, which might take anywhere from 3 to 6 months, based on the government taking their time. So yeah, well, you definitely can partner with us. Oh my God, Phil, thank you. Be advised, Munif does not see questions coming from Facebook. Please go to YouTube or Twitch to join the discussion. Thank you. Facebook, I can't see your questions. I'm so sorry. It's a limitation of Facebook as a platform. It doesn't integrate well with streaming software. Yo, Munif, I'm doing something where I give my spot and Pace Q&A for people who brought me value. If you have questions to ask Pace, join this next one. Jasper, you're dope. Thank you. I don't think I had a question for Pace, but I actually was able to answer it outside of the Q&A, so it's dope. But thank you so much. If I do, I will let you know. That's really cash money of you, Jasper. REI Brandon says, "What's up? What's up, Brandon? How did you make your relationships?" That is a very interesting question. I love people. That's how I make my relationships. I love everybody. I have an agent open to hear creative deals for listings with high days on the market. That's awesome, Brandon. Good for you. Why did you switch away from RE Simply? What dialer and contact rate do you have? I switched away from REI Simply because REI Black Book actually was the CRM my current partner was using at the time. So he is the lead gen guy. As you can tell, I'm somebody, if you give me $18,000, I cannot generate leads. So I partnered with somebody who could. And I learned from him through our partnership. And now if he gave me $18,000, I can generate leads, by the way. So I've learned how to do that. Dialer is call tools, contact rate. You're going to have to ask my SME, my subject matter expert. But I think we're contacting I don't know. It's a 3-line dialer with every hour they are connecting with, I think, 20 people, and every 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, they generate 1 lead. Something like that. Off the top of my head, but I'm not the expert on that. REI Brandon, I have an investor I met at my sister's wedding, and I showed him one of my Airbnb projects. He now wants to partner up by bringing capital for entry fee. I know you've done this many times, so I'm interested in feedback. REI Brandon, let me bring you up. That's a really good question. I'm going to bring you up here. REI Brandon, I'm going to post the stream studio here. I'll wait for you to jump in. Getting a message from one of my, I was reading a message from one of my partners on our 22-unit Airbnb village in Pensacola, Florida. It's an amazing project. I just met with our partners earlier in the day, and one of our partners, Naomi, was sending a message. I was reading that. Naomi, if you're watching this, I love you. You're amazing. It's an honor to partner with you on this project. With you, Pace, Noah, Tracy, Truman, and everybody else on the project. Edgar. You guys are so dope. Yo, what's up, Brandon? REI Brandon.
Let me try to get my camera working because Dell been messing up my computer for like trying to fix my computer the last month or two on this brand new computer. So let's see. Nope. All good.
Brandon Mendez. Brandon, this is actually hilarious. Brandon is a salesperson, an acquisitions manager, a closer, whatever you want to call that role. Somebody who gets us contracts, who calls our leads for hours on hours a day, gets contracts. He's on the leaderboard right now. He's tied with Tori for this quarter at 2 contracts. And we're actually doing a sales competition until the end of the year. So he's got 2 so far. Let's see how many he gets. Brandon, somebody brings me a shit ton of value, has to jump on my stream on Twitch for me to answer a question about private money. This is hilarious. And it's true, Brandon. I barely have time to answer your questions on the leads you're working, let alone, like private money and stuff like that. So I really appreciate you taking time out to be here and ask me this question at this time slot. Brandon, are you here? Do we lose you? Oh, hold on. Am I able to unmute? Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Unmute. It read out. Hold on. Let me try that. Here, why don't you rejoin? I'm going to post it again. I'll let Brandon rejoin. How does somebody become accredited? I think you have to have a net worth of over $1 million or make like $250,000 a year or something like that. There, you can just Google that actually. Or make like $250,000 a year or something like that. There, you can just Google that actually. Oh, holy cow! I'm listening to stuff.
Hey, what's up, Munif? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Turn on your camera. $1,000 a year or something like that. There, you can just Google that actually. Oh, holy cow! You have hold on. I'm gonna mute you. If you have me on in the background on the stream, exit out of that.
All right, how's it sound now?
Oh, beautiful. And are you gonna be on camera or are we?
Yeah, I'm putting my camera on right now. I gotta switch
Nice.
to my new camera.
Nice. Look at you, fancy. There he is. There we go. Look at that. That's a beautiful angle. But Brandon, you're muted.
There we go. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I've been having a broken Dell computer that's brand new that Dell's supposed to come fix today and yesterday, and they keep delaying it. So, but either way, I'm still making calls, still trying to close deals, and I love it.
This is amazing. How many conversations a day is Brandon having?
I don't even know. You probably know better than me with REI Black Book.
I have the data. APIs.
Yeah.
I don't share them with you though, because I don't want to be a guy with the whip. I like to be. How is our like management style? Are we like on your asses, or are we like uninvolved? Like how are we?
No, honestly, it's the amount of value that. So just there was a question earlier that I heard. It was like, hey, what should I do? I want to start my own real estate business. So just for your situational awareness, probably started back last October. Did like 6 months on my own. Was able to get like one deal. But the amount of work that I put in and just learning as you go, but being on a team, especially like with Munif and Yao and the rest of the team and talking about deals and leads every day has accelerated my learning curve dramatically. And not only that, I have a W-2, active duty military. So I've been in for 16 years. So, working in a secure facility from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. and then
No phone at your job, right?
exactly no phone at my job. So having to like follow up with those leads while you're at work and everything it was crazy trying to do it all myself. But now that I have all the systems in place and I have these guys who have my back, and it's amazing. So yeah, I have a full-time job, but I still put in the work from whether it's 5 to 9 p.m. or 5 to 8 p.m. or weekends. Still trying to make sure I hit all my tasks. So I'm organized where I have my leads that come in, whether it's, sometimes 2 a day, sometimes 3 a day, sometimes, there's none. But I still have follow-ups that I've been nurturing over the last few months that you have to stay on top of. Because it's a nurturing game in this business. Like it's not a get quick, like, oh, I'm gonna close the deal in 2 phone calls, but no. So
That happens sometimes, but
oh yeah, it does.
that's not the norm. So that's setting good expectations for everybody. And it's funny, Brandon. I remember when we first got on the call, and that was awesome. You've grown so much since you've joined us. You're such a you're freaking killer on the phone now. And it's funny because like you're bringing me and Eyal so much value, and I hope we're giving you value in exchange for just being part of the team. And we're all building something here together. We're all seeing the same goal, and really moving toward the same goal as a unit, as a team. And it's interesting because like even in the team, when you guys have questions, when you have a question for me, how available am I to like actually stop what I'm doing and get on with you? Am I super available, or is it really hard to get a hold of me sometimes?
No, so I would say the first month or so was hard to get a hold of you, just because the traveling and the Airbnb business, and but now when you put like pretty much 100% towards growing this acquisition business, it's easy. It's like, hey, like if I have a hot lead come through, you're there in a heartbeat, and we pretty much mastermind it right then and there together, or you give me pointers of what to say. Just like with the seller Albert the other day, it was like Friday before my sister's wedding. I'm like, hey, I got this hot lead. He owes the IRS this amount of money. I want to help him, but he wants this price, and he's willing to do terms, but the terms aren't really that favorable. What should I do? And you literally got in there and helped me pretty much figure out what I was gonna say, and yeah,
That's
yeah,
dope.
you're always available when, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's amazing to have you and Eyal on the team, or it's amazing for me to be on your guys' team, because I'm able to, like, there's a lot of questions that I don't know, but I have somebody on my left and right that has my back and can help me figure it out if I don't know the answer. So
I love that, man. Thank you for saying that, and we love having you on the team. We have so much fun. Like we joke
yeah.
around all day. We're just like joking around.
He's like, Modus, like the other day, he's like, when are you gonna quit your job? Like, you should just quit your job. Man, I got like 4 more years left till I got a retirement. And he went through the numbers with me. He's like, okay, this is like a multi-million-dollar retirement. He's like, yeah, okay, you could probably make that in 4 years. I'm like, yeah, but having that pension for the rest of your life, but do this on the side, acquire. But
no, we agree that you should keep
I
your job until you retire in 4 years. Like
yeah.
that is very smart. Like that's actually you would actually be an idiot not to.
Yeah.
Like I would actually really get upset if you were like, Munif, I quit my job to work for you full time. I would actually get upset with you because we talked about the numbers. You have so many amazing bonuses by being active duty, 4 more years, like ride it out, like do the 4 years, get your pension, get everything. It's amazing. And it's interesting that like you have a private money question and you're getting on the Twitch stream because it's really hard to get a hold of me like outside of the business.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to be like, hey Manif, can you spend 20, 30 minutes? And I will like if I have time, but it's like I also like I made a post today on Sub 2. Like I get these DMs in my inbox like, hey, can you answer this question? And they're really deep questions. Like even the ones here, I'm like, hey, like I have to elaborate on some of these questions before I can really give an answer. And they're 5 to 10 to 15 to 20-minute answers on some of them. So let's talk about your private money question. Like tell me about what's going on.
Yeah, so pretty much the first deal that I've got pretty much closed on it back in June. Did a full renovation, put about 75,000 in the renovation, put another 25,000 for the furnishing and decor. So all in, I mean, I was in a lot of money. So a lot of my capital went into this Airbnb, but now it's in West Palm Beach, starting to cash flow. I put it online in September.
Okay.
My girlfriend and I, we manage it this month. So last month was the first month that it was up, probably just barely broke even. After all my expenses, it was like $3,800. Mm-hmm. So I probably got like $3,700 last month, but this month, for the month of October, I'm scheduled to make about $7,800.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
So, and then the next month is scheduled to make about $8,000. So and then I haven't booked for December yet. So money's coming in. This is paying for the furnishing and kind of trying to recruit my capital. But I kind of like I don't have as much capital as I once had. So it's all in my thrift savings plan.
Sure.
So of course I network a lot. So at my sister's wedding, I met an investor who owns quite a few like multi-million-dollar properties. Just the lots alone were multi-million-dollars. Anyone knows Windermere area in Orlando? It's a hot area. So I pretty much told him, where I see myself going and the business I want to get into. So he liked where I'm going. He liked how my Airbnb was. I showed him how the setup was. Showed him pretty much I'm growing an Airbnb company or Airbnb property management company that I'm going to have my girlfriend and her friend run. And so he was like, and I told him about how the deals that, purchase creatively and how I'm on a team with you guys. So he pretty much told me, he's like, well, if I were to give you this amount of money, mm-hmm. how would you spend it?
Okay.
And so I pretty much let him know that, I would make you a 50-50 partner. We can pretty much get an entity, get an LLC, get an operating agreement where we're 50-50, buy these properties in that LLC. And it would pretty much, I would find the deal, whether it's creative, cash, or whatever it is, most likely creative. He would fund the entry fee. So we went into the different types of entry fee where it's a full reno to a property that, hey, the seller just can't afford the mortgage payments and it's fully renovated. We just got to pay the furnishing.
Yep.
So he was all about it. And so pretty much he's like, let's get like 15 properties together. I mean, I'm talking in the millions that he's ready to
he's ready to go. Yeah, he's ready to invest millions with you, which is amazing. Congratulations on your sister getting married because it's going to make you a millionaire. I think you got more value from the wedding than she. I'm just joking. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. That's a joke. I'm just joking. That's amazing and congratulations. And so I also would add this in your operating agreement and in the closing documents, you secure your partner with a deed of trust. Every deal. He puts in 100,000. There's a second lien or a third lien or whatever lien on the property for that amount of money. Even though the company owns it, you also give him a deed of trust. You give him or one of his holding companies something he has access to, whether it's a subsidiary of him or him personally, a deed of trust.
Okay, so pretty much even if the operating agreement and the LLC we own together 50-50, have them
Have it
secure
a
a
lien.
second
I
lien.
would do that. Just it's a good olive branch. It's a good faith. It's just the right thing to do.
Makes sense because if the entry fee is like 100K into a property, that putting
Say
that
this. Let's say you get abducted by aliens, and your son or your wife or your mom gets ownership of your LLC now.
Mhm.
And they're like, nah. And he's like, I want to get my money back. Nah.
Yeah.
That house can be sold or something happens. His money's protected because it has a lien on the property. Make sense?
Absolutely.
So give him a deed of trust. Now, I just would. I think it's the right thing to do, and it'll make him, if you're proactively giving him security, it'll make him feel more comfortable.
Okay.
And I would then. That's it. You've got your money. Now, what's next? What are you waiting on?
Now it's finding the creative deals. So putting myself out there, hey, send me your creative deals before
Where are
money.
you buying deals?
I'm buying in Orlando, South Florida, all the way from like Fort Lauderdale, West Palm area, and now Tampa, St. Pete. So, yeah.
Go. You should.
I also underwrote so he has a property like 5 minutes from Los Olas in Fort Lauderdale that he's been renting out for a while. And he was like, hey, maybe I should turn this into an Airbnb. And I kind of underwrote it for him. And that's where we started talking. So I underwrote it that property. He's going to end up turning that one to Airbnb. Like my girlfriend manage it, but that's how the ball started. And then it went into like, hey, so if I were to, give you this money, what would you do with it? And of course I was like, well, I'll make you 50% equity partner and we can go find creative deals. Together.
I'm glad. So that was 2 conversations, right?
It was the same night, 2 different conversations. And then today he called me and wants to move forward. Pretty much, he's like, hey, send me he's like, you have attorney draft up your operating agreement. Thankfully, Pace has already created one for some people in sub 2 that I can kind of go off of. And yeah.
Perfect. And so what I would do is obviously join the accountability groups to let everyone know you're a creative buyer. I also would, if I was you, I would call agents right now. Are you calling agents? Don't you have some agent friends?
I do. So I do have agent friends. I do have them. I pretty much right now sending me expired listings on the MLS. Or
don't do that. Tell them to call other agents that have. Tell them to call other agents in the markets you're buying that have listings that are 100 days older, or older, and tell them that you'll pay full asking price on terms.
Okay.
And have your agent friends do this. Full asking price on terms. What terms? I don't know, but it's in payments. It's going to be in payments. Is your seller open? Because we can get them their full asking price. We can get you we can get full commission, full everything, but it's going to be on payments. Have all your agent friends do that, and then talk to. Now, they'll talk to agents because if you have friends who are agents and they'll do this for you, then because they're agents, because they're part of a brokerage, they're more credible than just you. Not that you're not credible, but it's just easier to get your foot in the door and say, look, we'll pay commission, like everything. We're going to pay in payments. We're going to pay the seller in payments.
Yeah.
That's how we do it ultimately.
Not only that.
Seller, oh yeah, we buy those too. No problem.
Yeah.
And then get them on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And see if you can, there's some wiggle room on the commission. And you've got a buyer who's got millions of dollars to fund your entry fees. And he doesn't need to have fast returns. He just wants to get deals. And if you have good deals, the cash flow at good interest rates, that's it.
Exactly. He's gonna see that, and the interest rates. What I just had a buddy get a.
You need to leverage the human resources you have. So you calling agents directly is not a high leverage point. But if you have people who are cold calling, expired listings for you who are agents, or you have people who can call agents with listings that are on the market for a long time, have them cold call for you, knowing that you're going to give them a buyer's fee And then now when there's an elevated conversation, you come in. I've taught you the skills you need to have these conversations with agents. I've taught you that. You've worked with me for long enough. Now you can use those skills in your own business, and now you can convert those. And if any of the agents needs any credibility, just put them on the phone with me.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
No, thanks. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. See ya. Bye. That was dope. Brandon is amazing. Love that guy. Christy says, deed of trust for entry fee amount. Exactly. Whatever they fund, get the deed of trust for. Oh, hi, honey. Is this Chipotle? Thank you. I love you. I have to run. Thank you, Munif. Thank you. I'm going to eat this burrito. All right. It seems like a ton of people had to go. I think a ton of people have to go. Guys, I appreciate you. You guys are dope. Thank you so much for staying and asking your questions. I hope I was able to give you value. If you got value from this, the way you can repay me, because I'm going to ask you for money in the form of love. So I don't need your cash. I don't need your Bitcoin. I don't need your crypto. And I don't need US dollar because that shit is tanking. What I need is your love and encouraging words. So if you got value from this, the way you can repay me and give me that emotional nourishment that I crave is go shout me out, go shout out this stream and share one thing you learned from me answering people's questions. If you go shout on any social media platform, share anything you learned, it means a lot to me. It fuels me, it fuels my business. More people know about me, more people send me deals. So it helps me emotionally, it helps me financially. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you more than 30 seconds of your time and attention. It does a lot for me. It does more than you can imagine. So that's my ask. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you guys. And I can't wait to do deals with you. All right. Later, guys. Bye.